types of stainless steel.
Okay.
All right, Nigel, thanks for that explanation. Let's go across to Ekta now. She's watching Walk Hard this morning. Ekta, why is that?
Yes, well, that is because over 200 bottles of captopril as well as clarithromycin with tablets are being recalled in the US, and the recall is initiated on the 22nd of May. Around 166 bottles of captopril, which is basically a blood pressure drug, and 50 bottles of 500 mg of clarithromycin, which is an antibiotic, which is being recalled by Walk Hard. Now, remember that it is the packaging company which is the recalling firm with regards to this particular recall, and is in response to a recall notice from the manufacturer, which is Walk Hard, and this is a class 2 recall. So that means that there is no sort of adverse health consequences. The health consequences of using this particular drug could be temporary or medically reversible. So that's important, that it's not a huge impact in case you use the drugs. Now, the reason for the recall is given because of the current good manufacturing practices, or CGMP deviations. So Walk Hard has been deviating from the good manufacturing practices. This was following a US FDA inspection which noted inadequate investigation of market complaints. The consumers were complaining about the drug, hence unsuccessful identification of the root cause, and investigation then resulting in not being able to prevent the repeat failure. So remember that Walk Hard had recalled particular drug in March also of around 93,000 bottles, and remember that in April they had said that they are recalling drugs which are 12 to 15 prior to the import alert which was put on Chikilthana as well as Waluj. So this may be in line with that, but nonetheless it is definitely a sentiment negative.
All right, a sentiment negative coming in for Walk Hard, but you can expect perhaps more downside on Nestle after that product recall. Now Nestle has replaced the Maggi ads as well with the ads of Nescafe and of KitKat. So there's about a 10 crore inventory loss as well that Nestle has to bear. But Agam will tell us about what brokerages are saying with respect to how much more the stock could slide today. Agam.
Well, actually, it could go down to as much as 20% according to the new price targets that we are coming across. And do remember that a lot of these brokerages are suggesting that it may take more than just a handful of quarters for Nestle to recover from this particular controversy. Let's begin with Goldman Sachs, perhaps the deepest targets that we've seen. While they maintain the sell, they've also set their new price target around 4,664. And once again, they are of the opinion that this sustained underperformance will bear down on the overall operations for Nestle. We have a similar outlook when it comes to JP Morgan or Nestle. While they remain neutral and they also maintain their price target at 7,000, once again they're also of the opinion that we will have to see it'll be a long time before actually Nestle recovers from this particular aspect. And they're actually also putting current valuations at 38 times when it comes to the F516 PE, which is quite richly valued. And it's similar for Barclays. Once again, they maintain their underweight with the price target of 5,194. And they're also of the opinion that other than the fact that the stock is very richly valued, we'll also see product recalls and remedial measures which will bear down on margins. On the whole, brokerages are now more and more bearish when it comes to Nestle.
All right, thanks a lot for that, Agam. Varinder, we have been speaking about the delivery-based selling in several bank stocks. What are the stocks you are watching?
Well, of course, private sector banks are very important. We'll come on to that. But the two stocks in conjuncture which I'll be watching out will be Tata Motors, the spot stock, and Tata Motors DVR. These both stocks are very important. Tata Motors DVR, Sony also mentioned, this stock has been seeing selling, since last 17 days, has fallen rapidly from 520 levels to as low as 440 in the last 10 days. Even on Friday, there was, huge delivery-based selling to the tune of nearly 270 crores, delivery quantity of nearly 76 lakh shares compared to average of 46 lakh shares. If you just see in the last 10 days, nearly 5 crore worth of shares have been delivered on Tata Motors. So there is something which is happening in Tata Motors, but also keep an eye on Tata Motors DVR, because that could be also important. Remember on Friday, if you just see, if Tata Motors was down 2.5%, it was Tata Motors DVR which was up 1.5%. There we were seeing some buying happening in, and that's amazing, because there was delivery-based buying of nearly 24 lakh shares on Tata Motors DVR compared to average of only 10 lakh shares. So there was someone who was buying Tata Motors DVR. Now let me remind you, it was in Feb 2015 when BSE came up with an announcement where they said that S&P BSE has announced rules for considering DVRs into their benchmark index, and they reminded us that it will be effective in June 2015. The stock price of Tata Motors DVR is telling us that that effective
replacement is happening.
It could happen, or the announcement may come sooner, because it will happen in June. But which date it will come, we don't know. So that might be some precursor.
So people in their portfolios will replace shares with DVRs.
No, because it's still trading at 35% discount. It's still Tata Motors DVR is still trading at 35% discount to Tata Motors spot price. So you may see, you can see there was this clear outperformance of Tata Motors DVR which is happening compared to Tata Motors. So when BSE comes out with that announcement, that is important. But they told us that it will be in June. So that date could be very crucial. Also NSE, Nigel reminds me, it happens it happens in August. The revision or any changes happen in August. But if BSE does it, whether NSE will do or not, that will be an important point. But certainly BSE will come up with that revision of including DVR in the benchmark index in June. So that is why we are seeing outperformance. So watch both the stocks very closely. Other stock I'm watching out is Axis Bank. We all know, we have been talking about ICICI Bank, the way it has been weakest in the entire private sector lot. But now you are clearly seeing that that there is some bearishness which is coming on Axis Bank, Yes Bank. These are two stocks to watch out for. If you just see Axis Bank, the stock was down 1.5%. Delivery quantity of nearly 42 lakh shares, which is nearly double the 10-day average. And delivery percentage was very high at nearly 60%. There was nearly 330 crores selling on ICICI Bank on Friday, nearly 250 crores selling on Axis Bank on Friday, nearly 120 crores on Yes Bank. So private sector banks should be on the focus list today. And the last stock I'll be watching is Gati clearly. That stock was up 15% on Friday. There was delivery based buying of nearly 10 lakh shares. You can see there it was nearly 3 times 10-day average. That stock corrected from 340 to as low as 140 before moving that uptick of that 15% on Friday. Right now, if you just see, the current market cap of Gati is lower than Transport Corporation of India. If you remember, in the good days, the market cap of Gati was nearly 1.5 times of TCI. The market cap touched high of nearly 3,000 crores, and now Gati's market cap is nearly 1,500 crores. Compared to TCI, whose market cap is now 1,600 crores. So Gati has fallen below TCI. The only problem, of course, was high institutional holding in Gati, which was nearly 9.5% for FI holding. And in TCI cases, it's only 2.5%. So that stock has fallen, Gati. It saw up move, it saw delivery-based buying. Let's see how the stock moves up today.
Fair enough.